no no nonsense, no never say never. He's just good guy. He did everything that we would expect our local partner to do. He paid the price. He helped all the way through the deal. Matter of fact, I met him some months back, and it's a funny story how he and I met. And he's just a great guy. And I'm not sure how much we made, but I know we made tens and tens of thousands of dollars. And that is very, very exciting. And that's what we do with our partners across the United States, guys. But the goal tonight, like I said, we want to show you guys how to get this business not just to the level where it's making money. We want to show you how to get this to the level where you got a lifestyle. So, for instance, let me tell you guys a little bit about my day today. You know, I woke up. I'm here at some of y'all that have been following me know that I've got this new cool little crash pad on the Beltline of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not going to spend a lot of time describing it to you, other than I'll tell you it's amazing. It's literally a walking trail / bike trail / scooter trail.
That's for me. Scooters are for me.
Yeah, Julie can tell you her story with it, but she and Bree went scooting around for almost 2 hours last time they visited me. And this Beltline connects, it's 23 miles right in Atlanta, and it connects neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood. Each neighborhood is amazing unto itself. It's got shops, stores, bars, restaurants, gyms, cigar bars. I mean, it's just killer. And it's just one after the next and the next neighborhood. And so I woke up. I worked from here for just, a little bit to get caught up. I then went running on the Beltline for about 45 minutes. It was really cool because there's a number of gyms on the Beltline too. So I literally I'm one of those gymaholics. I got memberships at a couple already. So I'd run for 10, 15 minutes, pop into a gym, run 10, 15 minutes, pop into another gym. So that was just cool, And so I ran for a while. Then I walked for a little bit, and I got on the phone with a number of our partners across the United States. Then I went to a place called the Krog Market. And Krog Market is just another stop in the Beltline. And when you walk into Krog Market, it's like you're walking into this, holy camole. It's like a bazaar, indoor bazaar is the best I could describe. It's probably got about 40 stores under one roof. Again, this is just one stop. I walked around there for a little bit because I'm still kind of new, was just checking out the different stores. I then left Krog Market, walked for another 5 or 10 minutes to another coffee shop, and hung out there for a little while. Then I came back here, hung out here for a little bit. Then I went to visit my dad. I had lunch with my dad, usually a couple times a week. Then my dad and I had a cool lunch where we went over a bunch of stuff and caught up. That's always fun and exciting to do. Then I stopped at the office because I figure you got to show that you at least work a little bit. So I hung out in my own office for probably about 20 minutes. Then I went to my lake house, which is another 20 minutes away from the lake from the office. I hung out at the lake house, did some stuff there, made a couple social media posts there actually. Then afterwards, I went and grabbed something to eat with somebody I know. So that was really cool. And now here I am, guys. And look, I'm not telling you this in some kind of a flashy way. This is just reality. This didn't happen 6 months ago and I'm reminiscing. This is here and now today. This is how my life is. I know tomorrow afternoon, Julie's coming over here. We're going to have Ivan here hanging out with us. We're going to do some live videos. Ivan's a team lead on our team here. He's a fantastic realtor. So we're going to hang out with Ivan. Julie, is somebody else? Is that realtor coming still, the other one?
Yeah, and Jamari. Jamari's in our Facebook group. I mean, we just got to see him a little bit.
Yep. Jamari's going to stop by for a little bit. Then I know tomorrow afternoon, Rafa's going to stop by. And you know what? There's no question we're going to accomplish things. None of us run away from working. I don't want you to think that none of us work. We just sit back. We all work very, very hard, but we do it under our own schedule. We do it at our own speed, at our own pace. We do it in our own locations. And what we've learned is that when you can develop a lifestyle, what that means is that you basically do things under your own terms. That really is what lifestyle-driven life is. is that none of us that ever get to the point where we become successful get there so we don't have to do anything. I've never met a successful person in my life that like, okay, now I made X amount of money, so now I'm going to sit on the couch and drink beer the rest of the life. No, that's not the furthest from the truth. But you're in control. See, we're in control. We control what we do, how we do it, with whom we do it, how long we do it, where we do it, when we stop doing it, and all that. But in order to do that, it's very important to set up your business in the right way. You know, there's a lot of people that make very good money, but they're not in control. You know, they have to wake up at a certain amount of time. They get only a certain amount of vacations. You know, they don't control their income stream, even though it's pretty good. They don't really control it. You know, when you look at really some of these success, they're stressed beyond belief. They're constantly on the verge of like, oh my God, what if? And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about really taking your life in your own hands. And in order to do that, you have to set this business up the right way. You have to put certain things into it, certain people in it, certain tools into it, certain resources, certain checks and balances. Because, you know, if you step too much out of this business and you don't have the right checks and balances in it, although you might have the right systems in there, but if you don't have the right checks and balances, the whole thing can come tumbling down. And so one of the things that I'm really so proud about is that I feel like I've done that. I mean, I truly, truly, truly feel like I've done that. I'm still very much involved in my business. I understand the heartbeat of the business. I still think I'm the visionary. I know I'm still the visionary of the business, but the business runs. I mean, this text that I got from my girls tonight, I knew we were closing. I didn't know, guys, I didn't know where we were closing. I didn't know what time we were closing. I didn't even know if that closing, although I knew it was a deal we were doing in Illinois, I didn't know who was doing the closing. Crazy thing, I didn't have to sign anything. I mean, I literally didn't have to even sign closing docs. You know, nothing. I mean, it's just boom. Here's a text. Here's what we made. And then we just got to split it up. So, but again, it goes back to this. And I'll tell you, my biggest thing in terms of, I think, developing my infrastructure correctly is I have a very key person that basically it all, supervises it all, watches it all. So one of the things that you guys have to understand, in my opinion, once you start getting into this lifestyle thing and getting the right people, you have to be a key person. You know, no one ever got to be successful by saying, oh, my secretary is amazing. I mean, people compliment their secretaries. You know, no one ever got successful in real estate by saying, I have the best inspector. And good inspectors are important. No one ever in real estate said, wow, I got it because I got the right closing attorney. Still very important. In my opinion, it all starts with the right leadership, okay? And so obviously, you guys know for me, that's Julie. You know, Julie and I have been together working for years now. And Julie literally did work herself up through the whole organization. You know, I feel like, you know, and I don't think I'm speaking on her behalf. I told her, you know, most of the things she knows about real estate. And now she runs everything, all the way from the educational side to doing our own deals, to supervising our partners' deals, to supervising employees, to bringing people on, to letting people go, to where we're even located, to what we're doing, to some of the topics that we discussed with y'all. There's really nothing that Julie doesn't have her hands in. And so I really, you know, when we talked about this topic, I said, Julie, you know, you really need to take the lead on this thing because I'm kind of living the results, but you're the one who implements it all. So really hearing it from your end for our people, how did you structure all of this? Why do we have certain people? How do you make decisions about who to bring on? You know, how big is the staff? Where are we doing deals? These are all the decisions that, although you and I discussed, you know, you pretty much make almost all of them. So anyway, you guys know that Julie is my right-hand man, but in politically correct society, a right-hand person you are. So I'll let you take it away. I'll kind of just out and you tell us what this is all about, this bringing the right team and bringing the right people and all that kind of stuff is all about.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. And you know, I really appreciate, you know, those kind words. And there's that you said tonight that's very, very important if you want to be a leader, okay? And let me be cliche here. You've got to let people that have abilities become butterflies. You've got to let them blossom into what they are. And you can't be afraid of them blossoming. You've got to have the ultimate trust into people, and you never, ever, ever want to hold people back from what they're capable of doing and what they want to do for you. So I'm going to also, tell you the key to being a successful leader. And don't get me wrong, not all of you that's on this webinar tonight should be a leader. I'm sorry. Being a leader is a certain personality. There's certain traits that are involved, but everyone can work on that, okay? But know this, no matter what you do the rest of your life, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team, okay? So and then I'll just put that in real life examples. Let's say I was just lazy and I didn't care about doing deals and I didn't care about our students and, blah, 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 blah. Then what's going to happen is that my people aren't going to care about those things either. So the secret to being a great leader is you have to control the speed of everybody else, right? I'll even notice if I'm not at work or if I'm working from home, I'll get text messages that say, it's slow today. That really actually kills me a little bit inside whenever someone says it's slow today. Because let me tell you, if you're in business, it should never, ever, ever be slow. There's always something to do. Strangely enough, I learned that back when I worked in a grocery store growing up. When I was a teenager, and one of the best bosses I ever had that ran that grocery store, I said, well, everything's done. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's done. I did everything on your list. He goes, there's always something to do. Okay? So just know if you're going to be a leader, you have to be a leader. That means you can't come to work and go, oh, woe is me. I lost a deal today. Woe is me, I can't afford to do this or I can't afford to do that. You have got to have the personality of someone that's always motivated, someone that's always willing to go and step outside of the box to do whatever it takes. Also, being a leader comes great responsibility. Peter and I have never, ever, ever decided to hold people back from making commissions. A lot of industries out there don't want to teach people how to make money because they're afraid they're going to make money and they're going to leave and they're not going to be with them anymore. Well, the way that I look at it is that I feel that we should empower our people to be successful. Empower our people to learn more, to be better. I'll tell you one of my thoughts. There's, one person on my team that I never put on the phones before because I said, oh, she's not capable of doing it. This isn't something that I think that she can do. And, I looked at myself and I thought, who am I to say that she can't do it? Who am I to believe that she's not capable of it? So you know what? It was hard for her. She's now on the phone a couple hours a day. And one thing I require everybody in my office to do, besides Mary, because she's closing our deals and she's on the phone, everybody in our office is in charge of acquisitions. I don't care who you are or what you do at our company. You better know how to take seller calls. You better know how to negotiate deals, and you better know exactly what we do. So we'll talk about how to hire the right people. But before we get into that, what you've got to do is you've got to look at yourself. And before you ever bring anybody on, you better be willing to take the responsibility. Because not only do you have the responsibility of teaching these people, but guess what? All these people's families eat. They pay their bills off of what you're doing. So if your business is not doing well and you're not making money, you're not just affecting yourself anymore. It's affecting your people. And your people should be like family to an extent to where you care about the relationships and the things, you know, that they do. I don't normally say this, but there's one reason why I'm still with Peter, you know, after all these years. Yes, I know how to do deals myself. I know how to do, you know, a lot of things in this business. The thing is, like I said earlier, is he lets me be a butterfly. He lets me grow, expand my wings, and it's better to be, for me, and mostly anybody with the team that supports you, than to be all by yourself, right? So what I've done to make myself happier is, you know, build a team underneath, you know, him and I, and he's a great leader as well. That's why he's never questioned anything that I've done, because he has ultimate trust in me. That's what you got to have in your people. So let's talk about how to find good people, okay? Number one, whenever you're in the interview process, a lot of you will sit down with a list of things that you want to ask people that don't matter, okay? This is a business of relationships. If I go into an interview with somebody and I can't build a relationship with them in 15 minutes, they're probably not going to work for me. Because like I told you earlier, in this business, acquisitions is key. So it's important that everybody knows how to do that. And I truly believe that there's no replacement for a good personality and somebody that loves. So you've got to look for excellent communication skills and somebody that's well organized and disciplined, okay? Even though it is your job to motivate your people, your bird dogs, your acquisitions people, your marketing people, it's your job to motivate them. You do not want people that you have to motivate every day. You know, I know it's all of you are on social media and you'll see there and they're like, oh, I hate my job, or, you know, just another day. I don't want to see things like that. I don't want to have to motivate you to come to work. I don't want to motivate you to know what our purpose is. Now, with that being said, whose job do you think it is to explain to our people what their purpose is or what our goal is? You know, about 8 months, a year ago, we decided to do the partner-driven real estate program. And we set everybody down and explained to them how important it is to do deals with other people so that we can split profits with them 50-50, so that we can teach, we can learn, and we can grow. Everybody knows how important all these people are to us and what a big deal it is to make that in their life. That's why Antonio, who, by the way, didn't, from what Peter told me when he went to visit him, didn't have air conditioning in his car. And I'm not talking about tens of thousands of dollars he's going to make. I'm not going to tell you guys tonight how much it is, but it's absolutely life-changing. You've got to have a purpose in your business to move forward. So before you focus on others, focus on yourself and focus on your purpose. What's your purpose and what's your goals? I remember one time back whenever, you know, I worked at a different place, they said, Julie, you're great at everything that you do. The problem is that you don't delegate. This was in my 20s. You know why I didn't delegate? Because working that job, I was afraid that somebody was going to be better at it than me. Now, being a leader, you have to know that you want everybody to be better at you at everything. That's what a good leader is. Those are the people that you have to bring on. Now, let's get to the meat of it. If you've done a few deals and you're wanting to bring people on, some of you may disagree with me, but I do not feel that you should replace yourself with your money-making activities. If you've done a few deals and you want to bring somebody on, You should not bring somebody to negotiate your deals for you. You should continue to do that because you need cash flow to continue to come in. However, when you're starting out, if these people that you're bringing on aren't making you money, you need to get rid of them. And you need to be very quick to get rid of people that aren't making you money and that are, let's say, Debbie Downers. All of y'all heard about the bad apple. A bad apple will ruin your business. Don't bring on negative personalities. Bring on beautiful personalities so that people can grow within your business, and you will make gobs and gobs and gobs of money off of them. And people will say, well, Julie, if I teach them everything, they're going to leave me. So what? So what? Let them leave. You can hire the next person. Don't be afraid to teach and to grow with others. The right people will stay with you and have purpose in what you're teaching them. So also, I want to see people that are proactive. For instance, let's say, I'm interviewing somebody, and I'm going to wait a few days. If you don't call me back, I don't care how much I like you. If your follow-up isn't on point, I'm done with you, okay? I don't even care how much you like me. I may choose somebody that isn't even as capable as this next person just based off their ability to follow up with me. I want somebody that wants it. I don't want somebody that wants a 9 to 5 to just collect a paycheck. I want somebody that wants to learn. So if I could teach you anything about hiring people, it's that. Also, another tricky thing in this business, Peter and I, are on a different level, and lifestyle is wonderful, okay? And I love to hang out with people that I work with, but be very, very careful with that. Be very, very careful with getting too close with people that you work that work for you, because there is going to come a time where you're going to have conversations that aren't fun conversations. Telling someone that you don't like what they're doing, that their production is low, that's not fun to do. Nobody wants to do that. So I encourage you to be a good leader, to bring on other leaders, okay? And you definitely want to truly listen to any candidates. So if I'm getting started in this business, the first person I would hire is someone to help me with marketing. I don't mind being on the phone. Personally, you shouldn't either if you want to be in this business. But I'm going to bring someone on that's going to help me generate more deals so that I can go on to more appointments, so that I can do all of these things. Also, if you have the money, anybody that's like an admin situation, maybe you're skip tracing, maybe you're doing these things. You shouldn't be doing those things if you're bringing somebody on. You want to focus on money-making activities. So if I was getting started and I had a few deals under my belt, my first hire would be lead generation. And while they were lead generating for me, they would be sitting right next to me. And I literally mean right next to me. And they're going to overhear every conversation I'm going to make. Every conversation. Because while I'm doing, I'm teaching. If you're afraid to do what you're having your employees do yourself, they're never going to be good at it. There's nothing in our company that I won't do. Nothing at all. That's what the speed of the leader is, the speed of the team. That's why when we do flips, I don't mind to go, mow the grass, do weed eating, do all of that, make seller cold calls, do some broadcast calls, any of that. So, but before you go into this, you have to know and you have to believe that you're going to be a good leader, because you're the one putting purpose in that business. So you need to know exactly what you're looking for. Don't just hire someone and say, I'm bringing you on for 40 hours a week and not have a clue at what you're doing. You have to have a game plan. You got to know exactly what somebody's going to be doing from the time they get there to the time they leave. This is your money coming out of your pocket. It's got to be money-making activities. So, I mean, that's really a lot that I have for you tonight on being a good leader, bringing on the right people, and you wonder when is time to bring on somebody. Sometimes you're not going to get to that next level until you bring somebody on. And it's in a silly way, a little bit of it's competition. When you got someone that looks up to you, when you've got someone that depends on you, it makes you work harder. When we're not doing, if we were slow on deals in the office, do you know what I'm worried about? Do you know what Peter's worried about? I think Peter and I by now have a little bit of money saved up to where a couple of months of hard times don't really affect us as much. But it does affect everybody that we work with, okay? So the day that you decide to be lackadaisical about your business is the day that you let your people down, right? You think the president of the United States, you think the, ambassadors of these other countries, you think they can just sit back and not be motivating and not work hard? No, because the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. I'm saying that over and over and over again because I want it to resonate with you. If you want hard workers, you got to work harder, honey. You just do. Also, really, really, really important, I really suggest that all of you take a personality test. Not only should you take a personality test, but everybody that you bring on, you should have them take a personality test as well. It's important that you understand and know what makes up a person so that you know how to better deal with them. You know how to inspire them more. Not all people are inspired by money, okay? A lot of people just want you did a good job. You've got to know who you're dealing with. So what I've done tonight is, and actually Rafa's going to put this up. This is free. This is one of the absolute best personality tests that I have ever seen. And it's actually from a great man by the name of Tony Robbins. He bought the rights to this DISC profile test. I encourage everyone this evening or in the next couple of days, do this for yourself and take this test. Understand how it reads to you. And then anybody that you bring on, you need to have them take this test as well. Because you may be surprised. I'm a high D. And once you take this test, you'll get it, guys. But you want to bring on people that complement your personality. It's very, very quick, and it's going to tell you more about yourself than you want to know. And just know when you're taking this test, there are no wrong answers. Answer honestly and accordingly so that you get the results so that you know yourself better. And it'll tell you about how to lead people and how to be a better leader yourself. Wouldn't you agree, Peter?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I always tell people, you got to know your players. You've got to know your players, no matter who that is, whether it's your sellers, whether it's your buyers. But most importantly, you got to know your team. And, a lot of times there's shortcuts to things in life. I mean, the way to get to know someone is to get to know someone, right? But some of these profile tests are fantastic. As a matter of fact, there's huge companies that all of us have heard of that will never hire without running through one of these tests, like at KW, Keller Williams. We're all familiar with that. They're in our industry. That's an absolute mandate. When they hire all the way from secretaries, like you would think, well, a secretary I could probably hire. No, all the way to their middle management to upper management. So yeah, and the other reason why you want to get to know people's personalities as soon as you can in the process is you want to know how to fit them in better into your organization. Some people feel like, well, gosh, I'm perfect here, where their personality is such that they can't be perfect here. It takes a certain type of an individual, certain type of personality, for instance, to negotiate deals. You're an extremely quiet, reserved, non-confrontational, very laid-back person. Is that the kind of person you really want negotiating your deals? Probably not. At the same time, if you're a bulldog, aggressive, in your face, blah, blah, blah kind of a person, is that the kind of person you necessarily want greeting people that come in, maybe as your secretary or something? Probably not. So, it really, it's a way to fit people into the places where they thrive the most. The other thing is this, that, as it relates to what Julie's talking about, in the end, you hear us talk about this all the time. You could spend a lot of time in this business, and a lot of people do, and they stay very busy. I mean, it's like, and Julie and I talk to these people all the time. They're busy. And then it's like, well, what do we have for our busyness? We have nothing. We have no results. And so in this business, it's very important. And you can go on weeks and months doing that. And all of a sudden you're like, well, I just lost 4 months doing something that's not going to work. Well, same thing with people. If you bring the wrong people into your organization, you could waste a lot of time with these people. You start thinking, well, gosh, is it my training? Is it the way I'm talking to them? Is it the environment? And it's no, he's just the wrong person for the wrong job. That's all it is. And one of the things that I pride Julie on, and I guess I take credit for it because it kind of falls into the big umbrella here, but as you walk through our offices and as you walk through offices and you meet people, you can almost tell exactly what they do. I mean, I know you may not be able to see it, but then once you're like, oh, that's what she does. Like, for instance, you come into our office and you talk to a Mary. And a lot of times, many of you all have heard me talk about Mary. Many of you have heard Julie talk about Mary. We've showcased our videos. Mary is that bulldog. I mean, Mary is like, I kid around all the time, but it's so true. She's the only one who actually even gets short with me in our office. Mary is our closer. So when you hear us talk about a Mary, and then you hear us say she's our closer, and then you understand what it takes to close a deal in Atlanta, Georgia, in Chicago, in Texas, in a small town in California, at the same time, then you understand, okay, you got to have to be kind of a little bit of a bulldog because you're dealing with all kinds of people, all kinds of personalities. They're all on their own schedules. Different states have somewhat different ways of doing things. Different attorneys have their own little picky rules. So unless you get really like that, it's not going to work. So again, the whole thing of understanding how to bring the right. And let me add one more thing that Julie said that I want to kind of give my 2 cents in. When she was talking about how do you bring the right people, and we talked about this. Let me tell you some of the character qualities I look for in the right person. Loyalty to me is probably the most important thing. I mean, in my opinion, loyalty trumps almost anything. But the reality is you don't know if you have someone's loyalty. I mean, it's not like you're going to sit with someone and they're going to tell you, well, I'm going to be disloyal to you. You're never going to have a candidate like that, right? So loyalty is something that's really developed and earned and evidenced over a period of time, okay? So what I love, and this is kind of what Julie she was talking about, I love aggressive in the beginning. I mean, some of the greatest people that have ever come into my world that we ended up working together with were very aggressive. I mean, Julie was very aggressive when she and I started working with each other. I mean, she's like, this is what I want to do. This is blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I could tell you other stories of some of the salespeople that I've had in the past that sold incredible amount of inventory for me. The story I like to share is I had somebody working for me and they sat in actually on a group interview. Okay. They sat in a group interview. I was like bringing on a couple new salespeople. Back then I was still interviewing myself. This is many years ago. And I did a group interview. And in that group interview were like 7 or 8 people. Okay. And, when you're doing a group interview, no one really stands out until the second time that you ask maybe to come back to talk to them one-on-one. You're just like weeding out maybe 3 or 4 people that after they hear you talk about what you do, they're like, hey, I'm not even interested. So it's a good time saver. But what this person did is they freaking figured out my home phone number that night. And I don't know how they did it, because I know, we always said unpublished numbers and all this. And they called me at night, like at 9 o'clock at night, and they're like, I am your person. And let me just tell you something. When I started going through my second round of interviews, number one, obviously that person ended up getting the job. But number two, that person might have gotten that job that night. Because I was like, gosh, if somebody is that aggressive, if they're that's what I want. That's what I want in a salesperson. That's what I want. I want somebody that wants to be on my team. So all very important. What else we got, Julie?
Well,
hey, one other thing. Sorry, not to interrupt. The other thing that I want to hit on a little bit today, and maybe you could talk a little bit about it, Julie, is that beside the right people in this business, you also need the right tools. Like we generate inbound calls. That's a tool that creates a lifestyle. One way to generate seller calls is you aggressively get on the phone and you make the calls yourself, making outbound calls. Very important. Did it for years when I got started. But man, it's a really cool seller call, a caller that comes into you. You know what I mean? So maybe you could talk a little bit about tools. Another thing I want you to talk about just a little bit, because that is also a lifestyle thing, is remember, lifestyle is money, also time, somebody else doing the work. So hit a little bit on what we do with our agents with leads that we couldn't convert, because those, how we move those over to agents, which creates a great lifestyle for us. We don't have to do anything. That lead's moved over, team takes over, do their own thing, boom, 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 and hopefully you're collecting a check. So talk a little about tools and talk about how we create a lifestyle of dead leads.
Well, this is one of my favorite subjects, and I'm actually kind of getting back into it again, is, I'll really never forget, like 5 or 6 years ago, I was taking seller calls. I'm talking to a seller and I want to get the contract under contract for 80, but they owe 110. And all day long they could get 110. There's no way we could make the deal happen. So what we learned how to do was to actually convert that lead into a listing that would have otherwise been dead to us. As far as you're dead to me. I'm just kidding. It would have otherwise been dead to us. I think I'm funnier than what I am. It would have been dead to us to the point that we wouldn't have been able to do a deal, but they wanted to sell their home. So you've got to be able to look for opportunities outside of what's just, kind of like in front of you. But, I could do a whole webinar on tools in this business. And actually, Peter, that's a great idea to kind of do that one night. A lot of tools that I use is a good CRM system, a good phone system, good marketing tools. Those things are greatly important. Anything that makes my life easier, that I can be on the phone with actual people. That any tool like that makes me significantly happy. And speaking of that, as far as you calling me, one reason why we do this, is all of you may know, is we have a one-on-one coaching program. These conversations that Peter and I have with you, every Tuesday night, I have with people every day. These are people just like you, where you are right now, wanting to be, more successful in this business. I've been at the bottom and I've been at the top. I know what it takes to get from here to here. And I know the struggles. And believe it or not, the struggles from here to here are harder than from here to here. The hardest part is the beginning and knowing what to do. Okay. That's why Peter and I do this. That's why we split deals with people. That's why we teach you what we do. So if you want to learn more about this business, if you want to learn more about how to convert more leads, hire people, anything, how to do fix and flips, how to do wholesale deals. I know we talk a lot about fix and flips, guys, but I'll tell you, my favorite's wholesaling. It's not as glamorous. It's not HGTV, but buddy, it's a lot better. Actually, one of our clients today, Andrew, who is a vet and just got his service dog, by the way, I don't know if he's listening, closed his first wholesale deal today. Now, is it something that's going to make people get super excited? No, it's $5,000. Guys, when you're getting started, $5,000 might as well be like $1 million, because nothing, and I mean nothing, replaces confidence in getting your first deal done. Okay? So, as much as I want to congratulate people that are making this, just getting a deal done. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't mind going on an appointment for a couple hours to make $5,000 all day long. If you want to be one of these people, if you want to learn more, I'm not one of these people that puts you on email chains and our own group text. You talk with us one-on-one. If you want to know more about that, all you've got to do is go to www.calljuliemuse.com and you'll actually schedule a call with myself, or either Peter helps me with these calls too, because I'm doing deals and doing things. But all you've got to do is schedule a call at www.calljuliemuse.com, and you're going to talk to myself or Peter, maybe Lana or Christine, some of the ladies that work with us. But look, we're always going to be here for you. All right. As much as I want you to make millions, I want you to make a couple thousand first, so that you can develop the confidence in this business to make the millions. Okay. Become a thousandaire. That's what I want for you. And I want you to know, and as Peter talks about lifestyle and things, money's great. Money's, good. It helps you along with things. Nothing replaces time. You can't spend money and get time back. Okay. But what you can do is get out of that day-to-day hustle and bustle that's bringing you down, making your eyes droop, making your whole life a tizzy. Do something for yourself and get into a business that gives you the lifestyle and the freedom that you need. All right. No, it is not a get rich quick scheme. It is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. That's why you're here. That's why you're learning. Don't take the easy route. Take the route that's going to change your life. Okay. If you want to hear from, other people that's done the same way, like I said, go to www.calljuliemuse.com, which, by the way, is my name. And we would love to just talk to you about it more. Because you know what? Maybe you talk to us and this just ain't for you. And that's okay. For some of you out there, this just isn't for you. Just may not be. You may not have, the heart or the mental capacity to do this, or it just may not be your gig. That's okay. But you need to find that out now, instead of trying something for 10 years and it not working. So do something for yourself and learn. Continue to be on our Facebook page, schedule a call with us, and we'll be there. We want to make money with you, because selfishly, look, we're teaching you to make money and we're splitting the profits. It's pretty selfish from our end, right? It is a little bit, but that's why we do what we do.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys, remember, lifestyle critical. Got to set it up the right way. Got to do it the right way. But I still think the key to success, and this is just what Julie said, it's standing on the shoulders of those that come before you and those that are successful. And that's how Julie and I have, is we have time on most of you guys. I've been doing this for 20 years. I got time on you. I have experience on you. I've done this 3,500 times. Not better, just time, experience, which builds money, which builds credibility. So we'd love to work with you guys. Call juliemuse.com for those that are serious, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.
Good evening.
See ya.